Hey, it's Susie back at the Camacho homestead. I'm just doing a little bit of winter pruning in my front garden, and I'll give you a little look at that. The great thing about pruning in winter is you can really see what you have underneath. So right here in front I got these mums. They're only half alive because I don't water them in the wintertime, but they are hardy and they're perennial, and they're going to come back every year like they have been. I've got this rosemary that actually I transplanted it last year, and I'm so glad I did. It was only about 5 feet away. It used to be in that back corner next to the shingles of the house, and it wasn't thriving. It wasn't doing very good, and I literally put it 4 feet over here, and it is so happy. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let it grow because they can get pretty tall. I want it to kind of shelter my porch from porch pirates, people trying to take your packages. This is a lavender plant. It's not going to get, really tall. And I've got some daylilies back there, but I might put some crocosmia. I'm not sure. So right now I'm just kind of going to trim the dead stuff. You can see on this lavender that the old flowers are dead, and I'm just going to trim those up. I'm going to trim this petunia. It looks like it's kind of half alive, so it might come back, even though petunias don't tend to do that. We live in zone 8, and usually they're an annual. You have to plant them again every year, so this could be a first. I've actually got a geranium and fuchsia up there. My geranium has come back. That's a 2-year geranium, so I might trim that up a little bit. I've got some ground covers. I might just kind of take off the dead stuff, make it look a little nice. I've left the leaves in there for kind of a mulch to cover them over the winter. I think that's a daylily. So I'm just gonna trim up these mums, make them look nice. Here are my garden tools that I use all the time. I've got my little foam pad. I get a lot of my supplies from the thrift store, from the Restore, but not my pruners anymore. I usually go through 1 or 2 pairs of garden gloves a year, depending on the quality. I got these carbon steel pruners initially for doing bonsai, but I am just using them for regular pruning right now. I like them because they're sharp and they're accurate, and I can really get in to prune exactly where I want, and they cut well every time. Obviously I don't know how to take care of them yet because carbon steel rusts, so I have to learn how to do that. I got this tote at a thrift store for a couple bucks. It's pretty awesome. It's got a handy little handle. It's got pockets on the outside for all my tools, and then, a larger inside area for things. I've got some twine for tying up plants, and my cleaning alcohol, my nice pruning shears, and a little pocket. It's got like a little belt clip so I could put it on my pants or something if I'm wading in. I got this trowel. I really like it. It's Corona brand, but it's got like the razor edge on the side if you come across something tough. It's got digging inches if you're planting bulbs or starts. And so far it's held up pretty good. We have sort of rocky soil, so I've bent all my other garden trowels. Like I said, I like to do thrift store shopping, but I've stopped buying my garden tools at the thrift store because the quality of steel I can get for just a couple more dollars buying it new is worth it to me because I do a lot of gardening. This is like one of the cheapy trowels that I've got for like $1 at the thrift store, and it just bends all the time. I keep bending it back. This is my other tool that I really like. It's also a Corona brand, but I like it because it's got the trowel head on the one side and then the prongs on the other. This thing has been invaluable for weeding in my garden. I love it. It's comfortable. It's got a comfortable handle for each side, no matter how you use it. And like I said, we have rocky soil. I can even pick through rocks with this thing. I love it. The last thing I have in my arsenal is the traditional weeder tool, fork. I don't love it. It really doesn't do well for things like dandelions and stuff in my grass because the roots always break in half. I have a better tool for that, which I'll show you later. But this is good for other things in like soft soil. Okay, I got a little excited and I basically took them down to the ground. This one had quite a bit of undergrowth, so I left that. And all of these have growth, new growth coming up. So I just took all the old stuff. I mean, there was some green left on it, but it wasn't worth it because it was kind of long and spindly looking. But this will certainly grow up, bush out again. I cut these down almost to the ground like this, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year, so they're pretty hardy little guys. I took a little bit off of my rosemary. I just kind of trimmed it up here, made it sort of flush with my sidewalk, and then my trimmings I'm keeping, and I'm gonna try to dry out these herbs in my dehydrator and make some dried rosemary to keep for cooking. Alright, I've trimmed up my lavender bush. It looks a little less feral now. I wasn't too concerned about it. I just kind of want to get most of this old flower. That's called deadheading, when you take off these old flowers. And then I kind of trimmed up. I can't believe that this oh, what's it called? It's the little white flowers. The little, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. The little tiny white flowers. It's like a ground cover. I can't think of the name right now, but they don't survive the winter, and yet here it is. So it looks a lot better now. Looks less wild. Looks like I actually take care of it. And of course, when it really warms up in the spring, they'll be pretty happy and they'll have plenty of sunlight to bloom and grow and come back. I know it's hard sometimes to prune stuff down because you think you're killing the tree or killing the plant or it won't look the same. Yeah, Pruning is actually really helpful for plants. It's healthy for them. It's particular when you're getting out the dead stuff. But even if you're trimming back a healthy branch, that gives the other branches more sunlight and more ability, more nutrients to grow because one branch isn't hogging all of it. So don't be afraid to do some pruning. If you are afraid, just start out light, start out small, and get a little bolder as you move on. Homesteaders, it's time for that winter pruning. You can do it. Your plants are dormant now. If you're doing a big prune like what I did on the Japanese maple, now is probably a good time because your tree's not going to bleed out sap, which attracts bugs and diseases, etc. So now's a good time to get that heavy winter pruning on. If you have a stone fruit, which is I think cherry and peach, I believe those are supposed to be pruned in the summer, so don't prune those right now. But everything else pretty much can be pruned, so get to it. See you, homesteaders. Like and subscribe.